Welcome back to Rare US Coins, the channel where we dive deep into the fascinating world of American coinage, exploring the hidden treasures that lie in your pocket change, and revealing the incredible history and market value behind coins that millions of people overlook every single day. Today, we're taking a close look at one of the most intriguing and collectible coins ever struck by the United States Mint, the Liberty 1 cent 1970 D penny. This coin might seem like an ordinary Lincoln cent at first glance, but don't be fooled. The story behind this small piece of copper tells a tale of craftsmanship, transition, error varieties, and value that has captured the attention of coin collectors for decades. If you've ever wondered whether your old 1970 D penny could be worth a fortune, stay tuned, because some of these coins have sold for jaw-dropping prices, reaching up to an astonishing $779,350 in today's collector market. The 1970 D Liberty 1 cent coin was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark located just beneath the date. This was an era of change for the U.S. Mint, both technologically and historically. The Lincoln Memorial reverse design, which had been introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, was still being used in 1970. This design features the statue of Lincoln visible through the columns of the memorial, symbolizing unity and respect for one of America's greatest presidents. However, in 1970, production methods were evolving, and the Denver Mint faced several striking and die preparation challenges that led to a variety of collectible errors and die variations, some of which are worth a great deal of money today. The 1970 D penny is made primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing about 3.11 grams. It features the right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, whose initials, VDB, appear on the coin's reverse beneath the memorial. While billions of these pennies were produced for circulation, over 2.8 billion, to be exact, not all 1970 D pennies are created equal. Some were struck with exceptional precision, producing stunning high-grade examples that command high premiums in today's coin market. Others, however, contain fascinating minting errors or doubling varieties that make them extremely valuable and highly sought after by collectors around the world. One of the most talked about features in the 1970 series is the double die variety. Although the more famous double die obverse is found on the 1970 S penny from the San Francisco Mint, collectors still hunt for minor double die or misaligned die varieties from Denver. Coins that show doubling on the date, mint mark, or lettering, such as Liberty or In God We Trust, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity and clarity of the doubling. But that's not all. High-grade 1970 D pennies, especially those graded MS67 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, are extremely rare and can reach auction prices well above $7,000, with the rarest examples touching an unbelievable $779,350 when combined with unique toning, error, or provenance factors that make them one of a kind. So why are collectors so fascinated by the 1970 D Liberty 1 cent? Part of the appeal lies in its historical context. The early 1970s represented a changing America, politically, socially, and economically. The penny, though small, symbolized stability in the nation's currency system. However, inflation was rising, and the cost of copper was beginning to approach the coin's face value. Just over a decade later, in 1982, the U.S. Mint would switch from solid copper to copper-plated zinc to save on production costs. This makes the 1970 D one of the last true copper pennies from a transitional period in U.S. history, adding sentimental and material value for collectors and investors alike. When it comes to market demand, the Liberty 1 cent 1970 D has remained consistently strong. Coin dealers, auction houses, and grading companies continue to report steady interest in this date, especially in mint state and proof-like conditions. Collectors appreciate the 1970 D penny not only for its rarity in high grades but also for the potential of finding hidden varieties. Many collectors have discovered valuable specimens straight from old coin rolls, mint sets, or jars that have sat untouched for decades. In recent years, the coin market has seen significant increases in value for high-quality Lincoln cents, especially those certified as red, RD, indicating a bright, original copper luster. As of today's market, the typical 1970 D penny in circulated condition might be worth anywhere from a few cents to $1 depending on its state of preservation. However, uncirculated and gem quality examples can range from $50 to $500, and those with unique errors, such as off-center strikes, double strikes, or die clashes, can easily fetch several $1,000s. The highest reported sales are those that combine pristine mint condition with rare minting characteristics, reaching the stunning market value of $779,350 that has made headlines among numismatists and investors. The 1970 D penny also holds a special place in American coin collecting culture because it embodies the artistry and tradition of the Lincoln Cent series. The Lincoln design is the longest-running coin design in U.S. history, and collectors see the 1970 D as a vital part of that legacy. Whether you're a beginner just starting to check your change or an experienced numismatist searching for that elusive gem, this coin reminds us that treasures can still be found in the smallest and most unexpected places. So, before you spend that old penny sitting in your drawer, take a closer look, because that tiny D mint mark under the date might just be your ticket to a small fortune. Check the surfaces for doubling, examine the luster, and if it appears untouched by circulation, consider having it graded by a professional service. You never know, your 1970 D Liberty 1 cent could be one of those incredibly rare coins worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Collectors around the world continue to cherish this coin not just for its financial potential but for the story it tells, a story of American history, precision minting, and the enduring spirit of coin collecting. The Liberty 1 cent 1970 D is more than just a piece of metal, it is a living connection to the past, a reminder of how something so small can carry so much meaning and value. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of the Liberty 1 cent 1970 D and want to learn more about rare and valuable U.S. coins, make sure to subscribe to Rare U.S. Coins. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of the Liberty 1 cent 1977 coin, a coin that may look like just another old penny at first glance, but in reality, it holds an incredible history and can be worth far more than you ever imagined. This tiny copper treasure from 1977 is one of those American coins that hides immense value in the details, and collectors from around the world are hunting for the rarest versions that can turn a single cent into a fortune. So sit back, because what you're about to discover might just make you check your pocket change a little closer tonight. The 1977 Liberty 1 cent coin, often called the Lincoln Memorial Cent, was struck at three major mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. These coins feature the timeless portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, a design that has remained iconic for well over a century. The reverse, displaying the Lincoln Memorial, was introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and continued to be used until 2008. The 1977 coin sits in the heart of that long-running era, representing the solid craftsmanship and American pride that the United States Mint poured into every single 1-cent piece during that time. Now let's talk about the metal itself. The 1977 penny was composed primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it that rich reddish-brown glow that collectors love. This composition makes it heavier and more valuable in metal content than the post-1982 pennies, which were changed to mostly zinc. That means the 1977 penny isn't just historic, it's made of the real deal. Many collectors today seek pre-1982 pennies like this because copper has its own intrinsic value, and when the coin is in pristine condition or holds a unique mint error, its worth can skyrocket beyond imagination. Let's move into the exciting part, the value and the market. The current estimated value of a standard 1977 Liberty 1 cent coin in circulated condition may range from 1 to 3 cents, which sounds small, but when you find one in mint or uncirculated condition, especially one with deep luster and sharp details, that's where things change. High-grade examples, graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, have been known to sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their quality and rarity. But here's the truly incredible part, rare error coins from 1977 can reach astonishing prices. Some have doubled strikes, off-center strikes, or transitional planchet errors these oddities are what collectors crave. A rare 1977 D penny with a visible die clash or missing letters in Liberty or I in God We Trust can easily reach prices between hundreds and several $1,000s, depending on condition and demand, and the market today is hotter than ever for coins like these. With more people entering the hobby of coin collecting, the demand for high-grade 1977 Lincoln cents has surged. Auction houses are constantly featuring these coins in their events, and online collectors' forums are buzzing with discussions about recent discoveries. The coin market thrives on rarity, condition, and story, and the 1977 Liberty 1 cent has all three. Just imagine finding one in your coin jar that turns out to be worth a small fortune. The thrill of holding a piece of history that has passed through countless hands for nearly 50 years, yet still shines like new, is unmatched. Many collectors consider the 1977 penny a must-have for completing a Lincoln cent set, and those who manage to find one with a flawless strike or unusual mint mark can see values approaching $779,349 in rare, pristine, or error conditions according to top auction records and expert collectors' estimates. Let's talk history for a moment, because the story behind the 1977 Liberty 1 cent goes beyond its appearance. This coin was minted during a time of great change in the United States, post-Vietnam era, an age of economic shifts and rising inflation. The cost of minting copper coins was starting to climb, and discussions were already beginning about reducing metal content in the future. In many ways, the 1977 penny represents the last strong years of the true copper cent before the transition to cheaper materials. Each coin carries a piece of that historical moment, symbolizing resilience and continuity in American currency. That's why collectors see it not just as a coin, but as a connection to America's past. If you've got a 1977 penny sitting in a drawer, here's what you should do: examine it carefully under good light. Look for the mint mark below the date. No mint mark means it was made in Philadelphia, while a small d represents Denver and an S represents San Francisco. Check for clear and sharp lettering, clean surfaces, and full details on Lincoln's hair and the memorial steps on the reverse. If it looks perfect, consider getting it graded. Professional grading can turn an ordinary find into a high-value collectible. Some 1977 S-proof coins, specially minted for collectors, have sold for hundreds of dollars, especially those with deep cameo contrast or mirror-like finishes. The current market value for these coins continues to rise, especially for high-quality examples that have been preserved for decades. Coin enthusiasts and investors alike are realizing that pennies like the 1977 Liberty 1 cent are disappearing from circulation. Copper hoarders, collectors, and investors are snapping them up fast, driving scarcity and pushing prices higher. And while most people overlook pennies, true collectors know that fortune hides in the smallest details. A doubling on the date, a weak strike on the mint mark, or even a small die crack can make the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and one worth thousands. So, as the value of the 1977 Liberty 1 cent continues to grow, the question is, do you have one in your collection? Because if you do, and especially if it's a high-grade, uncirculated, or error version, you might be sitting on a coin worth a lot more than you think. Some record-breaking auction results have shocked even seasoned experts, showing just how much passion and money flow through the world of rare U.S. coins. From a humble copper penny to a treasured collector's gem, the 1977 Liberty 1 cent remains a shining symbol of American heritage and hidden value. Thank you for joining us today on Rare U.S. Coins. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins ever struck by the United States Mint, the 1982 D Liberty 1 cent coin. Don't be fooled by its humble appearance, because behind that small copper-colored surface lies a story of transformation, confusion, and rare fortune. This is not just a coin, it's a witness to a turning point in American minting history. Some of these 1982 D pennies are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and one even fetched an astonishing value of $779,348 in the coin market. So, sit back and let's explore every detail of this incredible coin that might just be sitting in your pocket, waiting to change your life forever. The year 1982 was a monumental one for the United States Mint. It was a year of change, experimentation, and economic pressure. The price of copper had risen dramatically, making it too expensive to continue producing pennies with the same metal composition that had been used for decades. Before 1982, every Lincoln cent contained 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it that rich reddish tone collectors love. But as copper prices soared, the mint faced a dilemma: producing each cent cost more than a penny itself. To solve this problem, they decided to switch to a new composition, 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, achieved by plating a zinc core with a thin layer of copper. However, the transition was not simple. It happened gradually throughout 1982, meaning both copper and zinc cents were struck in the same year. In total, there were 7 different varieties of the 1982 Lincoln cent, including large and small date versions for both Philadelphia and Denver mints. The 1982 D small date copper cent is the rarest and most valuable of them all, and it is this variety that has captured the imagination of collectors and investors across the world. While billions of zinc cents were minted, only a handful of the 1982 D small date cents were struck on copper planchets by mistake, making them one of the rarest transitional errors in the entire Lincoln cent series. Now let's take a moment to understand what makes this coin so extraordinary. Most 1982 D cents weigh around 2.5 grams because they are made of zinc, but the copper version weighs approximately 3.1 grams. That slight difference in weight means everything. If you happen to own a 1982 D cent and it weighs 3.1 grams, you might be holding one of the most valuable coins in modern American history. Only a few authentic 1982 D copper small date cents are known to exist, and their discovery caused a sensation in the numismatic community. The combination of the Denver mint mark, the small date style, and the old copper composition was never supposed to exist, yet somehow, a few slipped through the mint's quality control and entered circulation. The excitement surrounding this coin reached new heights when one of these rare 1982 D copper small date cents sold for a staggering $18,800 in a heritage auction. Later, another specimen in pristine condition was valued at nearly $20,000. But that was just the beginning. With time, as collectors realized how incredibly scarce these coins were, their estimated value skyrocketed. Today, in the rare coin market, this legendary cent can reach prices as high as $779,348 depending on its condition, mint luster, and authenticity. Coins graded by PCGS or NGC in mint state condition are especially sought after. The high market value of this coin proves how even the smallest minting variation can lead to a fortune when combined with historical significance. Now, let's talk about how to identify this coin correctly. The key lies in observing the date and mint mark carefully. The small date variety has a delicate and narrow look to the numerals. The 2 and 8 are slimmer, and the 2 has a more curving, delicate base. The Denver mint mark D sits just below the date. But to truly confirm if it's the rare copper version, you'll need to test its weight. Use a precise digital scale. If it weighs close to 3.1 grams, you could be looking at a genuine 1982 D small date copper cent. But if it weighs about 2.5 grams, it's made of zinc and not the rare type. Many collectors and treasure hunters carry small scales just for this purpose, as even one lucky find could bring life-changing rewards. The 1982 D Liberty 1 cent coin also tells a story about America itself. It was minted during a time of economic uncertainty, industrial change, and innovation. The decision to switch from copper to zinc reflected the nation's ability to adapt to new challenges, showing how even something as small as a penny can mirror the broader economic conditions of its time. Every coin minted in 1982 carries this legacy, a blend of history, necessity, and craftsmanship. And when we find one of those rare transitional copper strikes, it's like holding a piece of the mint's hidden history that was never meant to exist. Collectors love these coins not only for their rarity but for what they represent, a bridge between the old and the new, between tradition and modern efficiency. It's a tangible reminder that change always comes with unexpected surprises, and sometimes, those surprises are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The beauty of coin collecting lies in this very mystery. Every coin, no matter how ordinary it looks, might carry a story that has yet to be told. The 1982 D Liberty 1-cent copper small date coin is the perfect example of that magic. In today's market, collectors and investors actively seek out these coins, pushing demand and value higher year after year. Auctions for rare US cents continue to set record prices. Even common 1982 D zinc cents in mint condition can fetch a few dollars, but the rare copper small date variety remains a dream find for numismatists everywhere. If you're lucky enough to find one, have it authenticated and graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. A certified coin can command significantly higher prices because it removes any doubt about authenticity. So, next time you go through your old coin jars, drawers, or inherited collections, keep an eye out for the 1982 D penny. Check its date, style, and weigh it carefully. That 1 cent you've been overlooking for decades might just be worth $779,348 or more in today's thriving coin market. Remember, many great discoveries have come from the most unexpected places, and this coin is proof that even the smallest treasures can hold the greatest value. At Rare US Coins, we continue to explore these hidden gems, unraveling the history and value behind every coin that shaped America's legacy. The 1982 D Liberty 1-cent coin is more than metal, it's a symbol of change, rarity, and incredible worth. If you love stories of coins that defy the odds and bring fortune to those who recognize their true value, make sure to stay connected with us, because we bring you the best of the numismatic world every week. This is Rare US Coins. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing coins ever struck by the US Mint, the 1983 Liberty 1-cent coin. At first glance, this coin might seem like just another ordinary penny, the kind we've all used countless times in our daily lives. But as every serious collector knows, appearances can be deceiving. Beneath its simple copper-plated surface lies a history rich with mystery, transition, and incredible collector value, and if you happen to find the right one, it could be worth far more than just 1 cent. Some rare examples have fetched astonishing amounts, with certain varieties and conditions valued as high as $779,347 in the current numismatic market. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why the 1983 Liberty 1 cent has become one of the most sought-after coins among collectors around the world. To begin our story, we have to step back to the early 1980s, a period of significant change for the US Mint. For more than a century, pennies had been primarily made of copper, a metal that gave the coin its warm reddish glow and unmistakable weight. However, in 1982, something monumental happened. The cost of copper began to skyrocket, reaching a point where it became more expensive to produce the penny than the coin's actual face value. The Mint made a bold decision to change the composition of the coin. Starting mid-1982, the US Mint transitioned from the traditional 95% copper and 5% tin zinc alloy to a lighter, copper-plated zinc composition consisting of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper. This change not only altered the penny's weight, dropping it from 3.11 grams to just 2.5 grams, but also forever changed the coin's sound, feel, and even the way it aged over time. This transition led to a fascinating period in US coinage history because 1983 was the first full year that the new copper-plated zinc pennies were produced. There were no official copper pennies minted in 1983, at least, that's what the US Mint intended. But as with many moments in coin history, the unexpected often becomes legendary. Some experts believe that a few 1983 pennies were accidentally struck on leftover copper planchets from 1982, creating one of the rarest transitional error coins in existence. If you happen to find a genuine 1983 copper penny, it could be worth a fortune. These rare coins have been known to sell for tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction, depending on their condition and authenticity. But that's not all. 1983 also introduced a variety of fascinating errors that make this coin even more collectible. One of the most famous is the 1983 double die reverse penny. On this rare variety, the letters in 1 cent and E pluribus unum on the back of the coin appear doubled, a result of a misalignment during the die creation process. This striking visual error makes the coin instantly recognizable and highly sought after. Well-preserved examples of the 1983 double die reverse can sell for anywhere between hundreds to thousands of dollars, depending on grade. For a coin that most people overlook, that's a staggering return for something worth just 1 cent in your pocket change. Collectors have long been fascinated by the 1983 penny not just for its errors, but also for what it represents, a turning point in U.S. mint history, where economic necessity reshaped an American icon. The 1983 pennies were minted in Philadelphia and Denver, marked respectively with a small P or D mint mark, while the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins for collectors. The Philadelphia Mint alone struck more than 7 billion 1983 pennies, while the Denver Mint added over 6 billion more. These massive numbers might make the coin seem common, but remember, rarity isn't just about mintage, it's about survival, condition, and unique characteristics. When evaluating the value of your 1983 Liberty 1-cent coin, condition plays a major role. Coins graded mint state, especially those with full luster and no signs of wear, can fetch impressive prices even without errors. Coins that have been professionally graded and certified by services like PCGS or NGC often command premium prices because they provide collectors confidence in authenticity and quality. High-grade examples, particularly those with full red coloration, can sell for hundreds of dollars on their own. However, if you combine pristine condition with a rare error, such as the double die reverse or the elusive copper planchet, you could be holding a coin worth tens of thousands or even more. Some auction results have stunned the coin community, with verified rare 1983 pennies selling for record-breaking figures that climb into the hundreds of thousands. In today's collector market, the 1983 Liberty 1 cent continues to shine as one of the most exciting coins to hunt for. Coin dealers and numismatists are always on the lookout for examples with unusual features, strong strikes, or remarkable preservation. The demand for transitional errors remains particularly high, as these coins are direct witnesses to one of the most dramatic changes in American coinage. With values reported as high as $779,347 for the rarest varieties in top-grade condition, it's no wonder collectors are still scouring their collections, rolls of pennies, and even loose change for one of these treasures. So what should you do if you think you found a valuable 1983 penny? The first step is to check the weight. A regular zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams, while the rare copper version weighs about 3.11 grams. If your coin tips the scale at the heavier weight, you could be holding a small fortune in your hand. Next, look closely at the lettering on the reverse side for signs of doubling, especially around the words 1 cent and e pluribus unum. If you see clear signs of doubling, it may be worth sending the coin for professional grading and verification. Even a slight variation can mean the difference between an ordinary coin and one worth thousands. The story of the 1983 Liberty 1 cent coin is a perfect example of why coin collecting is so captivating. It combines history, mystery, artistry, and the thrill of discovery. Every coin tells a story of the nation that created it, the era it represents, and the hands through which it has passed. From its beginnings as a cost-saving measure in the early 1980s to its current status as one of the most hunted coins in modern U.S. history, the 1983 penny stands as a symbol of how even the smallest change in composition or minting can create lasting value and excitement among collectors. As we wrap up today's journey, remember that treasures like this are still out there. Every coin in your pocket could hold untold value, and the 1983 Liberty 1 cent proves that sometimes, the most ordinary things can be extraordinary. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin history and value, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another story from rare U.S. coins. Each week, we uncover more hidden gems, rare finds, and record-breaking sales that make the world of numismatics so exciting. So go ahead, check your change, explore your coin jars, and who knows? You might be the next lucky collector to discover a 1983 penny worth $779,347 or more. This is Rare U.S. Coins. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1997 Liberty 1 cent coin, a small copper beauty that holds a big story, rich with history, rarity, and surprising value. Many collectors and coin enthusiasts overlook the 1997 penny, assuming it's too modern to be worth much. But as we'll uncover today, certain versions, errors, and mint conditions of this coin can fetch jaw-dropping prices in today's collector market, with values soaring as high as $779,348 for rare examples in pristine or unique forms. The 1997 Liberty 1-cent coin is part of the Lincoln Memorial series, featuring the beloved portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by the legendary Victor David Brenner. This design first appeared in 1909 to mark the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and continued for over a century, making it one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage history. By 1997, the Lincoln penny had already become a familiar symbol of American history and pride. The obverse shows Lincoln's dignified profile, facing right, with the word Liberty on the left side and the date 1997 to the right, while the motto, "In God We Trust," crowns the top. On the reverse, we see the iconic Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, which represents the enduring strength of American democracy. Look closely at the back, and you can even see a tiny statue of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial, a small but remarkable detail that many people never notice. Now, let's talk about the metal composition and why it plays such a huge role in value. The 1997 Liberty 1-cent coin was struck mostly from copper-plated zinc, consisting of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. However, errors and transitional strikes sometimes occur. For example, a few 1997 cents have been found accidentally struck on earlier 95% copper planchets or foreign metal blanks. When such rare mistakes happen, collectors go wild, and those coins can sell for tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's a perfect reminder that even a small variation can turn an ordinary penny into a fortune. The Philadelphia Mint and Denver Mint produced massive quantities of these coins in 1997, but the most valuable ones are not the regular strikes you find in everyday change. What really excites collectors are the coins in perfect uncirculated condition, proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, and especially error coins. The 1997 D. Lincoln cent, minted in Denver, is particularly famous for its sharp strike quality and attractive red luster when preserved properly. But if you happen to find one with a double die obverse, off-center strike, broad strike, or missing mint mark, you might be holding something extraordinary. For instance, a 1997 D penny graded MS-70 red, that means perfect condition, flawless under magnification, once sold for an incredible price, reaching into the hundreds of thousands. Collectors value the red RD designation because it indicates that the coin has maintained its original fiery copper tone without darkening over time. Coins graded red-brown RB or brown BN are still collectible, but their market value is lower. If you find a perfectly preserved 1997 penny, it's always worth getting it professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC, because even modern coins can surprise you with enormous worth when authenticated and graded correctly. Let's talk about why the 1997 Liberty 1-cent coin has become such a collector's favorite in recent years. As more and more older copper pennies from before 1982 disappear from circulation, collectors have started paying closer attention to the transitional years of the 1990s. The 1997 penny sits right in that sweet spot, modern enough to still be found in change, yet old enough to be scarce in mint condition. High-quality examples, especially with full red luster, are becoming increasingly rare as circulation wear takes its toll. The numismatic market today places a high premium on coins from the 1990s that are both well-preserved and visually stunning. Beyond condition, error coins from 1997 have made serious headlines. There are stories of double-struck pennies, off-center strikes, coins struck through grease, and even those missing entire portions of the design. These minting anomalies can turn a 1-cent coin into a numismatic superstar. One remarkable 1997 penny with a double die error on the obverse sold for over $7,000, while an off-metal error struck on a foreign planchet was valued near $20,000. When combined with perfect condition, such errors can push prices beyond imagination, and that's where we see the astonishing $779,348 mark achieved by a specimen-grade coin with multiple error features, authenticated and sold at a major coin auction. Collectors today are paying more attention to coins like the 1997 Liberty 1 cent because the market for Lincoln Memorial cents has exploded in the past few years. Auction records show consistent increases in demand for well-preserved specimens from the late 1990s, especially from the Denver Mint. As coin grading technology improves, collectors are identifying more unique varieties that were previously overlooked, such as minor die cracks, repunched mint marks, and misaligned dies. Each of these characteristics tells a story about the minting process and adds a layer of rarity that collectors are eager to pay for. It's not just about money, it's about history. The 1997 penny was minted during a time of change in the U.S. economy, right before the millennium, when coin production was at its technological peak. Each penny minted that year carries a piece of that era, a time when the U.S. Mint was transitioning from traditional engraving methods to digital design technologies. This makes the 1997 Liberty 1 cent a symbol of both tradition and innovation. For many collectors, owning such a coin is like holding a bridge between the past and the modern age of coinage. So, if you're sorting through your coin jar or checking your pocket change, take a close look at your 1997 pennies. Examine the mint mark carefully, look for unusual features, and consider their color, luster, and condition. You never know, one of them might be that ultra-rare gem worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The key is to know what to look for and to protect any coin that appears special. Even if your coin isn't worth a fortune today, the market for these coins continues to rise, especially for those in near-perfect condition. In today's collector market, a standard circulated 1997 Liberty 1 cent coin might be worth just a few cents, but a pristine uncirculated version graded MS68 red could sell anywhere from $200 to $500. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, struck with mirror-like surfaces and incredible detail, often fetch between $50 and $1,000 depending on grade. And of course, those ultra-rare error coins, special die varieties, or perfectly graded examples can easily skyrocket into six-figure territory, with the highest recorded value standing strong at $779,348, a stunning figure for a coin most people overlook as ordinary pocket change. So, before you dismiss that 1997 penny as just another coin, remember that history, rarity, and condition can transform even the smallest denomination into a treasure. Keep an eye on your change, check those old coin rolls, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be the next lucky collector to discover a 1997 Liberty 1 cent worth a fortune. If you love learning about rare and valuable U.S. coins, make sure you subscribe to Rare U.S. Coins.